Gonna kiss up and rub up and fill up. Kiss up and rub up and fill up on you all night.
Hear me out. Quarantine cannot happen again. Divorce, suicide, physical abuse, physical assault, sexual assault, child abuse, emotional, mental, physical. This is the silent depression, and people will not make it out this time. Is a scary thought. It's a scary thought. Financially, people still aren't recovering from the first quarantine. Emotionally, mentally, people are not recovered yet. Let alone those who are actually, otherwise ill.
All right, I want to show you something, okay? So the average American, according to this Forbes website, makes about $60,000 a year. That equates to about $5,000 a month. But also it says the hourly rate is $28 an hour. I want to know how many people you know make $28 an hour, probably below the age of 30. Yeah, I can't even name one. This website says that the average bills an American pays is $66,000 a year, almost 60. Where's the extra $7,000 coming from? But this website also says the average American makes $78,000 a year. Again, I don't know anyone my age making almost $80,000 a year. But anyways, just for the sake, let's use these calculations, all right? So let's subtract the 66, 67 from the 78. You're left with roughly $983 a month. Average American. This is the recommended, if you're on a budget, what you will spend at the grocery store. $983, you're left with $4 if you follow this plan. So the cheapest is about $980, and then it just goes up. I don't even want to get down to that, but not to mention, the average American spends about $200 on gas a month. Yeah, and only about 16% of Americans consider themselves upper class. So that means that the majority of America makes that average income or less. So if you're struggling right now, have no fear. You're part of 84% of America right now. And I've seen enough TikToks talking about how the American dream is dead, and it very much is. Like, what will be the new American dream, I wonder? 'Cause before it was buy a house, pop out babies, get married. No one's getting married anymore. No one's having kids anymore. They literally can't afford to feed themselves, let alone children. So essentially, we live in a country set up for us to fail. Not to mention, don't even get me started on the president, dude. Like, I don't even know, how this will get fixed. But, then let's say you make minimum wage. It's $7.25. Times that by 40 hours a week, and then 40 hours a week for the rest of the year. You make about $15,000 a year. Who's that practical for? Even in a double income family, if you both make minimum wage, that's $30,000 a year. Again, the average rent is $1,700 a month for an 800 square feet apartment. So for instance, I was making minimum wage my first job at 15 years old. I worked about maybe 20 hours a week. I didn't really work that much. $1 in 2013 is $1.30 today. Why in the fuck is minimum wage still $7.25? Let me know. Just so over this country, and then it's like, okay, then leave. You don't like it, then leave America. That's what everyone said. All right, with what money, bitch? What money? What money? Like, after bills and food, what money's left over? Let me know. Is it thousands of dollars? Can you even save thousands of dollars on that budget to move? The answer is no. Dude, America is in such a fucking crisis right now, and it feels like nothing is being done about it.
I heard a new term on TikTok today that made me stop in my tracks.
We are living in the silent depression.
This guy believes we are not just living in worse than the Great Depression, we're living in the silent depression. The average annual income in 1930 for an American individual was a little over $4,800. Sounds like nothing, but if you adjust that for inflation, a little over $4,800 a year in 1930 is equivalent to almost $85,000 annually for the average salary for one person. Right now, the average annual salary is $56,000 a year. We currently are making less than the height of the Great Depression. In 1930, gas was on average 10 cents a gallon. That would be about $1.73. In case you haven't filled up your car lately, average cost of a gallon of gas is $3.55. To buy a new car in 1930 would have been about $860. It's worth about 15 grand. The average cost of a new car today is $48,000. And of course, the most coveted aspect of the American dream, being able to buy a house in 1930 cost about $3,900, less than $70,000. I spend way too much time on Zillow, so maybe this isn't surprising to me, but the average price of a home in America today is $416,000. How could we be living through worst cost of living and wages than 1930? And no politician, no media outlet, no one is talking about it.
That's Bidenomics. It's about growing an economy by strengthening the middle class.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
I'm looking for a yellow bone, long hair star. Thick in the hips, come get in my car.
This is what $137 worth of like personal care items and a couple random things looks like in 2023. This is literally all we got, guys. And it looks like more because I spaced it out to be aesthetic. But it's really not much. Like, what is... Seriously, $137 for soap, deodorant, toothpaste, hydration, and toothbrushes. And coffee. What is this?
Babe, the Target CEOs are on crack again. Look at these prices. Just look. This is $20. My finger for comparison. Maybe 3.5 inches. For $20, they're selling this shitty small basket. Again, finger for comparison. $10 for this teeny tiny fake plant that I can fit in the palm of my hand. By the way, I don't have big hands. This is dollar store crap. Again, tiny plant, $20. This one's maybe like, 8 inches tall, $30. This is the most dystopian thing I've ever seen though. So if the national minimum wage is still $7 an hour, you would have to work for over 3 hours after taxes to be able to afford this tiny fake plant.
Remember when prices started skyrocketing and we were all like, hey, this is corporate greed, but then we were gaslit by US government officials and economists who said it was all in our heads? It turns out it's not in our heads. Greed inflation is real. Financial experts were not just denying that corporate profits were causing inflation, they were actually blaming consumers, which is like peak gaslighting. Like toxic boyfriends should study this communication tactic because we all sort of believe the financial experts. Now a lot of financial experts are like, wait, this greed inflation thing is not a fringe theory. So here's the deal. Even though inflation is coming down, it's still really high. And the former vice chair of the Fed was like, hey, it's not people getting higher wages that's driving inflation. Instead, she says what's making everything expensive is something called price to price spiral, which is basically price gouging. Companies just mark up the cost of their products and services even though their input cost hasn't increased. This guy is a famous economist, and he was even like, profit margins have led to inflation. And this was getting really egregious in 2022 when retailers and some consumer brand companies were convincing their shoppers that, hey, we have no choice, we just have to raise prices, which is actually not true. And the thing is, a lot of companies started convincing us that this is just how it works. Everything has to go up in price and we have to accept it. Technically, that's not how economics works. There's this saying that economists like to say, especially in colleges, where high prices are cured by high prices, which means that a company can only make something as expensive as a customer is willing to pay. That's why cars don't sell for $1 million. That price is like way too outrageous. But during this time, we're seeing like cars that usually sell for $30,000 being sold for $50,000. And there's enough buyers that believe that price is fair that they're buying it, even though it shouldn't actually cost that much to buy the car. The whole thing is a self-fulfilling prophecy, and the people who lose are us, the consumer. Even the almighty Fed chair Jerome Powell, who was very quick to blame consumers, us, for high inflation, has now actually changed his tune. He is now saying that high wages are not likely to be driving inflation, and instead it could be other factors, which is very different than what he said in 2021. So what does this mean for you? Everything is very expensive, and those costs are not necessarily justified. But prices will continue to increase if people just buy. Like, there's this mindset that we think, oh, inflation is high, therefore everything should be more expensive. And that's what causes the price spiral.
Get up, cocksuckers, it's all over.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but outside costs a minimum of $300. Stay your ass home, okay? Stay home.
Tired of the way he treats me. Tired of the guilty feel. Anybody else think it's like fucking asinine to see all these buildings and all these apartment complexes being built? It's like, okay, first of all, nobody can afford to move into those places, and there's a lot of apartment buildings that are vacant, that are brand new, that are vacant. And this one is like, I see them all over the city I live in, and it's just like, that's just going to be another one that's vacant. And then at the bottom of them, they have commercial spots where you can rent and open up your business, but people can't afford that rent to run a business. So it's like, it's just a giant fucking building taking up space that priced people out of the homes that were there before, just to erect a giant building that's completely vacant just to take up space. It's like, you guys are just building shit for no reason. And it's fucking up the traffic in the city. And when I drive by and I see that it's just another commercial building, it's just another building that has a bunch of vacant homes in it, like, it's pointless.
So I guess I'm gonna jump in on the TikTok thing about inflation right now. I'm not quite sure. I don't know. It's hard for me to even formulate words right now, just thinking about life. I'm not entirely sure what to do. I work and I still have a second job. And if I'm not careful, potentially a third. Now, I'm not entirely sure how the third's gonna fit in here, but I gotta make it work somehow. Some type of side hustle, I'm not sure. But it's crazy, and I don't know how anyone else is surviving out here. I don't know how everyone else is making life work right now. I'm not sure how anyone's out here grocery shopping. I'm not sure how, I just don't know. I really don't know. I don't know what we need to do as a collective, as a people. I'm not sure what we can do, but I just know something. Something needs to be done. Something has got to give. Grocery shopping is probably the worst errand I have to run because everything is just astronomically expensive. everything. Like, I've cut out subscriptions. I don't eat out. And just as soon as I get my paycheck, once bills are paid, it's a wrap. It's done. I have nothing left. And I think I've cried all of the tears I could cry, at least for this week. I'm not sure anymore, guys. I truly have no idea how we are surviving. And the thing is, you can't even just say, oh, I'm gonna leave the country, because where are you gonna go that you also can afford to? Because everybody, literally everybody, is going through this bullshit. Everyone. Can't go to Canada, can't go to the UK. Everyone is dealing with just not being able to sustain life. And it's really sad. I wish everyone out there the best.
Gonna kiss up and rub up and fill up.
Tennessee.
Kiss up and rub up and fill up on you all night.
It sucks.
I don't know about y'all, but I cannot keep waking up every single day and acting like shit ain't going on in this world. I'm going to go into a spiritual fucking psychosis. I'm going crazy. I made a list. Let's get into it. So these are a lot of things that I fucking started off with fucking COVID, okay? After COVID, then we had inflation. Everything went up. Gas, food, mortgage prices, everything, insurance, everything went the fuck up. Now we got artificial intelligence. The government is trying to take away fucking money, US dollars, for I don't even know what the fuck that's all about. I know if they do it, I'm gonna be fucked, because I don't know what the fuck they doing. The Euphrates River has dried up. Nobody's worried about that. We have had the wildfires, the Canada wildfires, the Maui wildfires that they didn't started by these fucking laser beams. The government did that, by the way. And the Dominican Republic wildfires. Why do I hear nobody trying to shed no light on the Dominican Republic wildfires? I'm sorry. Bet the government just gonna motherfucking confirm and come out of nowhere and say, yep, aliens are real. And now all you see is saucers from all different kinds of point of views, and now they're visible. It's not like a sighting. What the fuck? Then we have motherfuckers saying that they seen skinwalkers and all kind of shit like that. And then you had the lady seeing shit on the plane. Now she's coming to the internet apologizing for her trying to see something. No. Why is she being silenced? And then they made the motherfucking weed legal. And now there's fentanyl in it. You can't even smoke to calm down and forget about this shit now. For real, I really think this is all just part of that one world order coming into play. And we need to get back to Jesus. I don't care what nobody says, feels about it. And throw them crystals out, bitch. Throw them rocks, salts, and seasonings all the way the fuck out. Fuck that. That ain't gonna help you from the rapture. That ain't gonna help you from the fires that he gonna bring here. Okay? I'm literally scared. I don't know what to do. Like, I'm still living in my flesh. I don't know what to do. How do I disregard my flesh? I'm worried. Anyways, besides that, it's just too much shit going on. Do y'all not think about shit like this? I can't. All these things I just named, we cannot just sit here and keep acting like, oh, I see this on TikTok. Scroll. No! When are we gonna go hit up the government? We got our people out here smacking motherfuckers in the back of the necks with foldable chairs. Let's go get these motherfuckers at the gut. Never mind, because they're going to be at my house next. They're going to hit my house with a laser beam. I'll take it back. All the way back.
Gonna kiss up and rub up and fill up. Kiss up and rub up and fill up on you